Hi everyone. We are extremely sorry. There is a heavy rain going on right now in Nashik, and our technical team was office in the office where we are sitting. So there is a lot of power backup problem issues are there. So we are just telecasting and broadcasting a little bit late. We have a prominent guest with us, one of the India's top 10 executive coach, Mr. Sridhar Laxman. We have eminent colleague moderator with me, Neeta Arora ma'am, who is expert into educational background. Sridhar sir, are you there?
Yes, very much here.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think there is a lot of things going on the both the ends. I'm extremely sorry for all the troubles which are there. I'm extremely sorry to all the audience who are awaited for this particular session. But we'll make sure that Sridhar Lakshman will give us time and we'll be going live again with being announced on our social platforms. So right now we have a time around let's say 10 to 15 minutes. So we would be concluding this session in next 15 minutes. Nita ma'am, you can ask the questions, and Sridhar sir, I just
Mhm.
want to start with the simple question: what exactly the business or executive coach do?
Sure. Well, firstly, thank you for having me here. And I want to say thank you to all the people who are attending the show today. In the 15, 20 minutes that I'm with you, I hope to add value to the conversation. So, as an executive coach, my primary role is to help bring out the greatness in people, whether it's an executive, it's a business owner, whether it's an individual, a salaried employee, it doesn't matter. As long as there's a human being, I believe there is enormous greatness within the person. And my work is to help support the person in bringing up all the greatness to the fore. Uh, so, in a nutshell, that's what I do. And this happens over a period of time. It requires three or four elements to be in play. First and foremost is creating high levels of self awareness so that the individual becomes aware about himself or herself, how they think, how they behave, how they choose, and what are the outcomes as a result of those choices they're making. Second is I create a confidential, non judgmental platform so people can express themselves without the fear of any consequence, without the fear of information being shared with anybody else. The very act of expressing the deepest, darkest thoughts within helps the individual achieve clarity. And when the mind is clear, the opportunities are enormous in front of us. There's nothing that can stop us. So that is, in a nutshell, what I do. I'm going to pause here to check if that answers your question. I'm cognizant of the time, so my answers will be brief and short for the moment.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you so much for giving a little bit idea. I just wanted to know that in this challenging situation, how entrepreneur or the business owner look at the situation. I mean, whether it's a challenging situation or whether it would be an optimistic or the opportunities are coming our way.
Well, like everything else in life, Rimay, there is no one simple answer to any of this. Right? There are challenges and they're staring us in the face. There's no two ways about it. Whether it's the pandemic, whether it's the economy, whether it's the challenges with regard to GDP or customers holding back on their cash, there are challenges. There are real challenges in the economy and the market when we all are equally facing it. There is a health pandemic. At the same time, there are also enormous opportunities. With every problem, there is a new solution that's appearing. So it's a mixed bag. We all have a choice to wake up and look at how do we want to see what's ahead of us. Until the pandemic came about and people were forced to stay at home, technology was not looked at the way it is in the last 6 months. The number of solutions that have come up, whether it's education, whether it's people working from home, productivity, new tools. So it's a mixed bag. And I believe what's in our span of control is to look at the opportunities ahead of us. You and I can't change the pandemic. You and I can't control the economy right now. You and I can't change anything else which is not in our control. What's in our control is my well being, your well being, our health, How do I use my time? How do I use money I have? How do I use the time and energy that I have with me? And who do I want to target? Who do I want to get business from? What new opportunities? So those are in our span of control. And I think it's about changing the lens from which we look at the world ahead of us and adapting to it, being more flexible, more agile.
That's correct, sir. Very well said. Any question from you, Nita ma'am?
Yeah, so I would like to ask you what, according to you, are the attributes that make a person successful coach?
A successful coach. Okay. You should ideally be asking my clients that. My understanding from the formal education that I have done in coaching programs, International Coach Federation, other institutes that I've gone through, there are three key factors. The first, I think, is about understanding that coaching is not about the coach, it's about the person who's going through the journey. As a coach, the role is to create a safe, confidential space for the person who's going through the journey, coaching journey, to walk into. Second is, as a coach, the role is not to advise the person on what to do, not to guide them, not to give them tips. The primary role of a successful coach is helping the individual find the answers he or she is looking for, helping them bring out the greatness which already exists. It doesn't come from the outside in, it's an inside out work. So, enormous amount of belief in the individual and their capabilities is important. Ability to listen without interrupting, listen without being distracted by 100 things that are happening, listening without any prejudice, without judgment, listening for what's happening to the person rather than the manifestation that they share. If somebody's telling me that I have a challenge with a colleague at work and he or she is troubling me, and if I start focusing on the other person and their behavior, I'm not with my client right now. My work is to be with my client and understand, how do you feel when the individual treats you badly? What happens to you? Is it fear? Is it self doubt? What happens to you? What could help you overcome it? The idea is to stay with the client, not with what they're painting in front of you. The fourth part is about coming from a place of complete trust, complete belief in the individual capability, in their talent, looking for the diamond within them, looking for that gold, peeling the onion one layer at a time, continuing with it. Equally important is the coach has to be courageous enough to call out behaviors that are not serving the client. If my client is turning up for the sessions and he or she is not acting on the learnings, if I continue with the sessions without questioning them, I'm doing them a disservice. They're not hiring me for me to just run through the sessions. They're hiring me for me to challenge them, to understand what's stopping you from taking the actions. You're a mature adult. You know this works for you. What's stopping you? Sometimes even challenging them further, knowing that by the process of challenging, the individual is able to find a deeper answer that is not obvious yet, without being tempted to give the answer, without advising them. Because who am I to advise? Who's a coach to advise his client? The coach has not lived the life of the client, only the client has lived it. So, those are 4 or 5 attributes which I believe make successful coaches. Somebody who's gone through the formal education, gone through the rigor of learning what coaching is and is not, creates a safe space for the client, stays away from advising, helps the client find the answers, comes from a place of trust, has the courage to challenge the client when required, and all of that will serve the client. So I hope that answers your question, Neeta.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. And what inspired you to become a coach?
Well, 2 or 3 factors. One is from childhood. Grown up with very, very kind parents. My parents are extremely kind and generous. So I've grown up watching them be caregivers to others, whether it's within the family, whether it's neighbors, people at work. So both my father and mother have been very kind and caring people. I think somewhere that has played a role in me going here. The second is that when I went through my corporate journey of 20 years, like everybody else, I faced ups and downs. And at some point, I realized I wanted to work with a coach. So I hired a coach in the US and I worked with my coach for about a year. And that year was the transformational year in my life because I became highly self-aware. I overcame my fears, my limiting beliefs. I was able to become more clear about where I want to go, what I want to achieve. So I had actually experienced coaching in depth. And I said, this is incredibly powerful. Look at what it's doing to me. I wonder what it can do to many other people who are there. So, it inspired me to continue seeking more information. And finally, I gave up a 20-year corporate career to pursue a career in coaching. I started my own firm. In fact, as I speak to you, as of starting of September, I've finished 9 years and I'm starting my 10th year as a coach. So I'm pretty excited. It's been a wonderful journey. I feel blessed. It's very fulfilling to help clients go from where they are to where they want to be. And to know that I've played a small little role in helping them become highly clear, courageous, confident, and successful. So I would attribute those three factors: my personal challenges, my corporate career, growing up with kind and caring parents, my own experience of the coaching journey with my coach, and of course, the last 10 years of fulfilling interactions with my clients.
Sridhar sir, I just wanted to ask you a last question. We can say
Sure.
uh, that if anybody is willing to get into the entrepreneurship, there is two choices which we have generally in India: that job or entrepreneurship. So, what decision they should take, and what are the prerequisites or the you can say the challenges for both the options when they are going to get the selection done?
Sure. So, having been on both sides of the table, let me share my brief experiences in the form of um, see if that comes up as an answer. When we are in a job, when somebody is employing us, irrespective of the name of the company or the size of the company, there are two or three things that happen. One, we are assured of a certain income every month. So we go to work, and at a certain day of the month, we get salary, which takes care of our bills, takes care of our savings, takes care of our needs, and things like that. Number two is that we work around people. We are not on our own. So we go to a workplace, there is an office, there's a real estate, there is an office setup, there are computers, there are printers, there are scanners, everything in place. Wi-Fi is working, there's coffee available, and there are people that you can interact with and you can generate ideas. And there are different departments doing different things. So there's a sales department which is in charge of sales, a marketing department which is in charge of advertising, branding, promotion, human resources, and so on and so forth. When you look at a entrepreneurship, when somebody starts off from day one, it's completely their own responsibility. So I joke about it saying, from the time I've started, I'm the coach, I'm the secretary, I'm the finance executive, I'm the human resources executive, and I'm the sales and marketing person in my company. Now, what does this mean for any entrepreneur? Is it means that we need to take complete ownership for our success. Yes, you may have beliefs about superpowers, God, religion, different ways of looking at who could support you, whether it's family, friends, etc. End of the day, you wake up, you work, you earn, you serve your customers, they see value in it, they'll come back to you. Nobody else can change your destiny in this except you. There is luck, there are many other factors, but I think at the heart of it is, are you taking complete responsibility for yourself as an entrepreneur? Which means I don't have the choice to complain because I've chosen to be this coach. I've chosen to be an entrepreneur. I can't complain saying this is bad, that is not good, I wish things were different. I've chosen, this is my choice. Number two is I need to focus on how I show up in the world every day. Am I being positive? Am I showing up in the most professional manner possible for people to say, hey, this person looks like credible, trustworthy, capable. Let me work with him. Number three, am I serving them to the best of my abilities? I don't have multiple departments to come and help the client here, right? So does the client get value for money that they part with me? Number four is I can't blame anyone saying, I don't understand tax law, I don't understand finance, I don't understand GST. It is my responsibility. I have to learn as an entrepreneur, and I have to file those papers on time. I have to understand about various other things. I have to understand technology. I have to understand about human emotions, about human behavior. So when it comes to entrepreneurship, I think the first question to ask is, are you willing to take complete responsibility for everything that involves running an entrepreneurship? Number two, are you willing to spend the time and energy required to make it a success? It's not going to happen on its own. Number three, how are you from a finances point of view? Are you very clear that you're willing to go through the ups and downs of entrepreneurship? Because the revenue is not going to be steady every month. Some months you'll have a lot of clients paying you, some months nobody will pay you. Some months there'll be more sales, some months there'll be less sales. Contrast that to a salary which is consistent around the year. So, it's a matter of considering these four factors before making the decision. I'm not saying employment is good or entrepreneurship is bad. Both are equally great. It's a personal choice. You're an entrepreneur, you have freedom, you have independence. If you're an employee, you have a support system, an ecosystem which is already existing. So there are pluses and minuses in both. You have to go with what you believe is your purpose. Rimay, does that give you
Absolutely, sir.
sufficient
Thank you so much, sir.
information?
Yes, sir. This is like just not even a drop in the ocean which we have received today from you. There is a lot of time restrictions we have, and the technical glitches are always there when it comes to the technology. That is why humans are superior and the technology, what we can say. So definitely, sir, I would
It's okay,
just
Rimay.
allow us to
It's okay.
know to we commit to our audience that Sridhar Lakshman would be there with us live after the summit whenever the time permits him. Thank you so much for such a wonderful guidance and guidance to our audience. And we are really looking forward to your next
Rimay, sorry, I couldn't hear you in between, but I do appreciate the opportunity.
hello.
Thank you for the time. And if anybody wants to reach me, you can go to my website, get in touch with me. I'm happy to answer queries that you may have. Would you like me to read out the website? Is that okay, Rimay?
Yes, sir, absolutely fine. In fact, we are going to mention everything with this session, the recorded session, and again we'll give all the information in regards to the everything professional services which has been delivered by
Excellent. You
you.
can drop my email and my website, and I'm happy to answer any queries that the attendees may have. Thank you again for having me here. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Can I log off now?
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you,
Yes,
Rimay.
sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Neeta, ma'am.